Hello, magical ones. Welcome to the Fairy Stitch vlog. I'm Fairy, and today we are going to do a Halloween baking episode. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm kind of excited about this. I haven't done a baking one in a little while. For those of you who are brand new to the podcast and wondering what goes on, well, basically, usually anyway, we usually talk about fairies, fairyology. There might be a little kitty talk in there. There's usually artwork. There's definitely knitting. There's usually crafting. Sometimes we do books. Sometimes we do poetry. There's some gardening. There's some baking. You never know what you're gonna get, and you never know when you're going to get it. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, perhaps you will, I hope. And, that way you'll be up on what's going on and what's coming. So please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. That would help me a lot. I'd appreciate it. And I thank you. Either way, I welcome you for watching the episode. And we are obviously in October, and Dark Fairy Day is coming, and in 2025 we're hanging on as best we can by the nails, but I feel like that poor kitty hanging on dangling from the tree limb by the nails, like, desperately trying to hang on. Yeah, that's how I feel these days. So it's been rough. We're having a rough time, really rough time. But today we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on some baking. Will hopefully make us feel better. And I hope you'll enjoy it. So let's sprinkle a little fairy dust, see what we can conjure up today. So what we're going to try to bake today is something new. I've never done it before. And to be honest, it's not my recipe. I got it off the internet. I got it off a Facebook page. And I can't remember which page. Unfortunately, I didn't write it down. But I know it was shared to like 2 or 3 different groups. So I saw it multiple times. So I thought, you know what? It kind of sounds interesting. So we're going to try to bake the witch's apple and honey cakes. Witch's apple and honey cakes. And I think I'm going to do cupcakes only because I think the pan is, well, either way. I could do a bundt cake or I could do cupcakes. I didn't think of that. Okay, anyway. One thing at a time. I'll decide that in a minute. Here's the recipe as far as what we're going to need. Because if you want to bake it too, great. Let's do it. So, the more, fairy witches out there baking, the better. So let's see. It's, without my glasses here. 2 cups of flour. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon cinnamon. A half a teaspoon nutmeg. Half a teaspoon of salt. 1 cup of soft butter. Okay, so we have to soften the butter. And 1 cup of honey. 2 eggs. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And we need 2 cups of chopped and preferably peeled apples. Okay. Well, I'm not going to peel them, to be honest, because I don't have a peeler and I don't know how to do it by hand. But I do have a little chopper. So if I chop them up really fine, that should work. Right? Right. Okay. So I have to chop apples first because I don't have them ready. But let me go do that. So in the process, the recipe says to preheat the oven at 350 degrees. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and chop the apples. Let's get the apples done first, right? Right. Okay. I'm gonna go do that. Okay, so I have cut up 2 cups of apples. This actually equaled out to being about 2 small apples, and I just used my electric chopper. So I made them really fine, really kind of small. And I also took the time to pluck out the apple seeds out of the apple core. Remember, apple seeds can be used in your herb jars or your candle magic for prosperity, for good health, um, for healing spells. So I always try to save the little seeds now, just let them dry out in, an hour or so. And then I just put them in a little jar and store them until I'm ready to use them. So there's a little apple magic for you. Okay, so we've got the apples cut. So then the first instructions say you mix the 2 cups of flour with I think it was the baking soda. Yeah. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Let's see, the salt, half a teaspoon of salt. And then 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg. So we mixed all those in a bowl. So I'm going to go grab a bowl and let's do that. Alrighty, so I have my ingredients right here, and I'm going to lower the screen. So sorry that I have to do this out here and not in the kitchen, but for those of you who are returning viewers, you already know that my laptop screen is all damaged. And so thankfully the computer itself still works, and Matthew was able to ingeniously figure out how to connect it to our TV, so at least I can look at the TV monitor above here and see what's going on, but on my computer I can't see it. You're seeing me through the camera, but I can't see anything on the screen at all. It's completely white. It flashes, it flickers. You can't see anything, so the screen's fried. So I have to do everything out here. I can't take the laptop anywhere else, can't take you into the magic lair or anything else unless I use my phone. And then I can only do short videos. Again, this is another problem that I've got that I need money for to repair because I can't do it otherwise. So, doing the best I can with what limitations I have. Okay, so let's get back to the recipe. So what we're going to do is I've got my mixing bowl here. I'm going to lower it. Here we go. And I've got nutmeg, salt, cinnamon, ground cinnamon. So it says, what did it say again for measurements? It says, oh, and I forgot the flour. I got to go grab the flour. But let's do this first. So 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay. 1 teaspoon. That's half. Try to get the light. Here we go. Okay. So cinnamon is first. Cinnamon's always got that lovely scent, you know? It always makes you think of Christmas. Okay, one teaspoon cinnamon. And cinnamon too, as far as for magical purposes, is good for prosperity, good luck, money making spells. So yay, we need that. Okay, so next thing is we need half a teaspoon see, half a teaspoon of nutmeg. So I've got that. Don't know what the cats are doing out there, but they are having a wonderful time making noise. Okay, so half a teaspoon of nutmeg. All right. Then we need another half teaspoon of salt. So that is in here. We're doing a little fairy kitchen witchery today. All right, half a teaspoon of salt. Yes, got it. All right, so then what we need next is 1 teaspoon of baking soda, which I didn't bring out, so let me go grab that along with the flour. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Oops. All right, there we go. And then it's 2 cups of flour. My cup. Righty. Let's see. Okay. Check that real quick. Okay, so 2 cups flour is the next thing. So we've got almost. Okay, so there's 1. Let's see. And there's 2. Okay. Alright, let's get that out of the way. Alright, so it says mix the flour, baking soda, spices, and salt together. So we're just gonna blend it. It doesn't say you need a mixer. It doesn't say you need a whisk. It just says mix it. So I am just mixing it. Alrighty, so let's see. Okay, so now it says in another bowl, second bowl, we're going to. Okay, this one we might have to put it on the mixer. It says you need to cream the soft butter. Then we add the honey and the eggs and the vanilla. So, okay, so we're gonna cream the 1 cup of soft butter. Then we're going to add, what is it here? 1 cup of honey, 2 eggs, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So let's go do that. Okay, so I went ahead and I softened the butter, which ended up being about 1 stick. It was 1 stick of butter, ended up being very close to a cup of butter, which is what we needed. And I just put it in the microwave and I've softened it a bit. So now I'm going to put it in the electric mixer, and it says to cream it a bit. So I'm going to do that and add those other ingredients, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I have gone ahead and I mixed it all into the bowl here, and so it's pretty liquid. It's pretty wet. And then it says next step is to stir in the apples. Okay, so we're gonna take our apples and kind of whoop, big globby mess. But let's It says stir it in, so that's what I'm going to do. There we go. So I'm just going to stir it in. And then it says to go ahead and add, to stir in the dry mix. So we've got all of that. And I'm just going to do a little at a time. And remember too, you are working a spell when you're doing this. You are creating a magical spell because you're creating a delicious treat that's going to be hopefully, fun and enjoyable. And, it's got apples in it, it's got cinnamon in it, which is good for you usually. So, you're creating a spell. So just pretend you're mixing that cauldron, and blending that spoon, and you're making magic at this point. So enjoy the process and make sure that you are, in a good state of mind, that you're enjoying it. And I am. It's a relaxing recipe, and thankfully it's not complicated, which is fantastic. So yeah, we're blending in some, good feelings, and it's going to taste great, and we're going to enjoy it. And it's going to be a nice treat addition for our Dark Fairy Day. There we go. Okay. So the consistency looks like oatmeal now that I've added the apples. It looks like oatmeal. Okay, so then the next step is, it says to pour into your pan, and you're going to bake it at 350 degrees for 40 minutes. It says 35 to 40, but I know when I make anything with apples, the apples really add a lot of moisture to the flour and to the recipe, to the ingredients. So it's going to be wet, and it needs a little more time. So if they're going to tell me 40 minutes is the max, then I'm going to do the 40 minutes. Because I think the apples, they need that time to absorb a little bit more. And then that way you don't have so much, it won't be, the cake won't be as wet, and won't be as moist. And moist is good, but you don't want it to be a mess where it falls apart, immediately. So it's just apples just have a lot of moisture, so they add a lot to it. So I know when I make my apple cinnamon muffins, your cupcakes, and if you want that recipe, then please go through my channel and find my old episode where I baked those, and you can, make those as well. But again, the apples do add a lot of moisture, so yeah. So, okay, so 350, and I'm going to use, I think, a bundt cake pan. So here's my Wilton cake pan. It's old and abused, but it's still going good. So, and I sprayed it with a non-stick cooking spray on the inside. That's always essential. Okay, so then, and I have the oven preheated already. So we're just gonna scoop these ingredients into the pan as best I can. And it's sticking to the spoon. Doesn't want to come off. Oh. Oops, hit the microphone. And it didn't specify, so, I mean, if you wanted to do cupcakes, I don't see why there would be a problem. I could have done the cupcakes, but I think this pan was just readily available, so I'm just going to make a big cake out of it. But it looks like you could do it either way, which is nice. It's good to have some versatility, and that way you can play with it a little bit more. So that's good. Okay, I've got all of it. It looks like clumpy cinnamon oatmeal. Whoops, I'm spilling. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of smooth it out a little bit. Go. Alrighty, so now I'm going to put it in the oven and we'll see how it turns out. So the cake is continuing to bake. It looks like it's doing okay. So we'll see. It's still got a little bit of time yet. So while we are waiting, I thought I would go ahead and mention my Ko-fi page, my Ko-fi.com page right here. The description, it is in the description box, and the link is also right underneath the channel name in blue, and it's ko-fi.com/fairystitchvlog. And please check it out, because on that page, I'm selling a bunch of different things. I'm selling my classes, and I'm selling some artwork. There's some wallpaper art that you can download right away and use as a screensaver if you want to. I have my Fae Sage newsletters. We do a monthly newsletter where I talk about different magical things, as well as whatever the season is, anything else that relates to that I want to talk about. So those are available at a really cheap price. And we've got other artwork, and there's, of course, the knitted accessories and knitted dolls. My Fairyology course, which is almost done. The first 3 episodes are available. There should be at least 2 more episodes that I need to record and get uploaded. I plan to do those hopefully this week, so they will be available. But if you become a follower on the Ko-fi page, then you'll have an update right away. I do try to give updates everywhere, on my Facebook page, on the art page, on here, and then of course on Ko-fi itself. So I do a lot of updating as much as I possibly can. So please, become a subscriber to something, and then that way you'll be aware of what's coming and when it will be available. But that currently is the class that I am working on and trying to get finished. It's all written, it's all been researched and written and ready to go. I just need to do the actual recording, which can take a while, considering my limitations technically. So I do the best I can. But anyway, those items are all available on the Ko-fi page, so please check that out. I'd really appreciate it, as we are really struggling financially right now. Can't even pay our utility bills or our phone. Things could be cut off at any day. It's really scary. So, and I know there's a lot of problems going on right now, especially in our country at this time. And some people might say, well, there's more important things. And yes, you're right. But for my household and my family and everything, even though I definitely am not happy with the way things are going in the world at the moment, I have to focus on my little family too and try to keep us alive. So, yeah, when you don't have heat and water and you can't provide, I mean, that's a problem. That's a big problem. So, this is the only way I'm making money besides yard sales, selling my household items and things like that. I do have a neighbor who occasionally will give me items because he doesn't want to sell them. He just wants to get rid of them, and he knows that I do need to make the money, so he generously donates to us. So thank you, Tim, for doing that, especially for that wall heater you just left in the other day. That gives me something to work on and try to sell. I appreciate it. So, but when things don't sell, I need help. So, again, I appreciate you checking out the Ko-fi page and purchasing something. It would be fantastic. So let's go check the cake. So the cake is rising a little bit and looks like it's filling into the pan. It's still got some time yet. So again, we will keep checking back and I'll keep checking back with you. And then we'll see how it turns out. Cross fingers. It doesn't say that you need to put icing or any kind of topping on it. So I like icing, but you may not need it. So we'll try it. I know Matthew doesn't always go for icing, so I may not do icing on everything. But then again, and with this combination with apples and cinnamon and honey, I would recommend recommend a non-flavored icing. You could use like a whipped cream icing, which would be good. I don't have any, but I don't have any made up. But I use that one for my fairy strawberry cake and the orange fairy cake. Those are so good. But the icing is very tricky and takes time to make it, but it's good. But yeah, I didn't make any. But I don't know. I mean, with all the spices and everything, I mean, it'd be good holiday cake as it is without the icing. But I guess if you wanted to, then use like a non-flavored, just a white or, fluffy, the fluffy icing that they've got, or I guess they call it whipped. Maybe it's a whipped or fluffy. It depends on the brand you're buying at the store. You get the little tubs of icing. But I think Duncan Hines calls it one thing, and Pillsbury calls it something else. But they're all good. It's just they call them something different, but they're similar. But if you really wanted a flavor that would go with all of this, maybe vanilla. I'm not a big fan of vanilla. I mean, I like vanilla ice cream, but vanilla icing is not my absolute favorite. But if I wanted an icing bad enough, I guess I would use maybe that if I wanted extra flavor. If I didn't, like I say, just use a non-flavored icing. And you could add, I mean, if you get like a white icing that doesn't have a flavor to it, it's just white icing, you could sprinkle a little extra cinnamon on the top. It would make it decorative looking, but then you add a little bit more cinnamon. So if you're really into cinnamon, which is good, I like it, that's another option. I would do that. Again, the recipe does not say, it doesn't recommend anything for a topping. I'm just throwing ideas out there. But yeah, I would maybe do that at some point. If I have any. I don't think I have any. So, I'd have to make one. But anyway, yeah, so it's an idea for topping if you wanted to do that. Nothing else? Buy a little Cool Whip. Buy some whipped cream or Cool Whip if you don't want to make it yourself. Just buy some. And I do have a can of whipped cream. You could just put like a little tiny dollops along the top. It adds a little decoration. And it adds a little bit of cream so it breaks it up. So, yeah, there's another idea we could do, huh? See, when fairy witches get together, the ideas come flying at you. So, yeah, or it's the fairies saying, yeah, try this. We want to taste it too, so try it. So yeah, it is I think it's a good recipe for making offerings as well. If you want to leave fairy offerings out at the fairy ring. And like I said, I usually do that one time during the full moon. During those full moon nights when they're really bright, I will put an offering out. And so our full moon for September has already been over. And actually, we had the Hunter's Moon was just the other day. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, so the Hunter's Moon, we just had a Hunter's Harvest Moon that was just here a couple days ago. And last night we did have moonlight, but it wasn't as strong, so it's fading away now. But I did leave an offering. but it wasn't this because I hadn't done it before. But yeah, this would be a good little cake to leave, make little ones and leave them out there at the fairy ring. So yeah, I'll have to keep that in mind for next month. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, yeah. So there's some ideas. So let me check it and be back. So the cake is happily uh, baking away. It's got another 20 minutes. So we'll check back with it in a little bit. But the other upcoming episodes I thought I just mentioned to you guys that are becoming, I'm probably going to do one more vlog episode. And I was going to do another baking episode. Now, I'm probably going to make some fairy puffs. I'm probably going to make some Harry Potter butterbeer cupcakes. Now, I think both of those I have already done an episode for each one already. It should be on the channel here. So please, if you're interested, go back and find those 2 episodes and watch them. So I don't know if I will do a whole episode just on those. I might just do a combo or something to show you guys, well, I made some of this and made some of that, made some of this. I might just do one episode that's a bunch of treats at once. I was kind of thinking of doing some caramel apples, and I was going to try to do some caramel poison apple ones if I could do that. And, gosh, I think there's candy. I was going to make some candy, I think. I've lost track. I had a list. But anyway, those episodes may come, or I might just combine and do it all in one longer episode. I know sometimes the longer episodes can be harder for everybody to sit through, and I do appreciate it when you do. I appreciate when you watch any of them, but I appreciate when you sit through the longer ones. But I'm not sure I want to have, like 200 episodes of little things when I could combine some of them and put it into one. It's less episodes on the channel, and then you can have a variety as well. I like to mix it up. And it's just as I get inspired, I'm an artist. I do things visually, and it's just when you get an idea and then you get another idea, and it's like I try to combine them together. So, yeah, I just like to keep it different, keep it interesting. Again, you never know what you're going to get. So please subscribe. But yeah, I mean, definitely I like to keep you guessing. And again, it's just, oh, that sounds like a good thing to do, and that sounds like a good thing. And then that way I can put them together and not have a whole bunch of, episodes that might be really small, really short. So, anyway, think of it this way. You're baking with me at this point doing these episodes, but you could be knitting, you could be crocheting, you could be scrapbooking, you could be, doing the diamond art, you could, be doing cross stitching or embroidery. I mean, there's plenty of things you could be doing while I'm talking. And that's what I do too when I watch podcasts. If I'm not going to be taking notes, or I'm not going to be following the recipe, I'm just going to write it down for later and do it, then I'd probably be doing my knitting while I watch somebody. So I appreciate it, So fellow artists, fellow crafters, anybody who's watching, I appreciate you. So, okay, I'm going to go check the cake. I will be back. So I've taken the cake out of the oven a couple minutes early, not too long, and it looks kind of, crumbly, and it smells good. It smells really good. So I'm going to take it out of the pan once it cools down a little bit, and then we'll put it on a plate, and I'll show it to you a little bit better, hopefully. But yeah, it turned out kind of a little golden cinnamon brown, and like I say, it does smell good. You can smell the apples and the cinnamon. So yeah, so let's cool down a little bit, and we'll be right back. So I've taken it out of the pan, and that's how it looks. Try sort of, I don't want to fall off the plate, but yeah, you can really smell smell the cinnamon and a little bit of the nutmeg now. Now it's out of the pan. I still do make the apples as well. I can make out the apples, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, it looks plain. If you were going to present this to somebody, or like a centerpiece or something for a meal or whatever, then yeah, I would definitely want to decorate it up. So again, that's when we would use the icing options that we talked about earlier, and sprinkle a little more cinnamon on the top just to give it some kind of decoration. I mean, I think that would make it look more attractive. But yeah, it smells good. It smells good. I hate to try a piece, but yes, I want to save it, but we need to see how it tastes, don't we? Hmm. Mm-hmm. I can almost taste the honey. Yeah, there's the honey in there. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I think Matt's gonna like it too. So, yeah. Okay, so we've got another cake success. So a hunter's moon, dark fairy day, Halloween, early pumpkin, whatever you want to call it. We've got another cake. So give it a try. It's the like I say, it's the witch's apple and honey cake. So thank you so very much for watching this episode. I hope you liked it. I hope it was, interesting and that you got a new recipe out of it. Like I say, that's pretty good. I did like it, so I think Matthew will like it too. But I'm probably going to add a little bit of cream on mine, just to give it a little extra flavor, and also to make it a little more decorative as well. So for the picture, we want it to look good, right? But yeah, it was a good recipe. So again, yay! A1 for the witch's apple honey cake. So thank you so much for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please like the video. I'd really, really, really appreciate it. And spread the word. Spread the word of Witch Vlog for a while. Fairy Stitch Vlog. And get us out there. I'd really appreciate that. So, in the meantime, new episodes that will be coming up. Like I say, I would like to do one more baking episode. Might be a combo of a bunch of different treats. And there'll probably be the regular project vlog episode. And then there was one other one. I just lost it out of my mind. There was one other one I was thinking of doing. And, oh, I still have to finish the decorating. So I'm hoping, because we've had rain and wind, I've waited, but I'm hoping I will be able to do the short porch redecoration video. So please stay tuned for that. So thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. We hope you have a great day. In the meantime, have a very good day, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Hopefully.